Welcome back to another episode of Simple Meals. And I got to tell you, it's a very exciting time of year because this is the time of year that we host our biggest and baddest event ever, the Mastering Diabetes Summit. So it's called the Blood Sugar Revolution Summit. All right. You can register right now, and it's going to start on November 2nd, but you got to get registered. You got to get in, and you'll get a bunch of emails beforehand, warming you up, getting you excited for the event. And we're going to have a ton of fun. We have over 20 incredible experts in this year's summit, and it's 100% free. You register, and it's free. And you're going to watch all these interviews on a wide range of topics, okay? So do you want to learn about what you have to do to optimize for kidney health? What about for cardiovascular health? What about for gut health? What about for cancer? We have an amazing range of experts talking on, there we go, look at that on the screen. So you got Dr. Michael Clapper, Neil Barnard, John McDougall. Like, if you haven't registered, like, you need to fix that right now. In the comments, if you have attended our summits in the past and you've enjoyed them, like, let us know, like, what have you gained and learned from our free summits? This is our 6th annual summit. It's our best one yet. And it's going to start on November 2nd, but you got to register now to secure your spot to make sure you're going to be in and you're going to get notified. During the summit, we're going to be doing live webinars where you can come and interact with us. We're going to do phone calls. We're going to call some of the people that join. So it's just going to be amazing. We are super excited. Like, look at these experts that we have are just world-class. And you're going to learn so much. So that interview with Jim Loomis and Karen Dugan was like fantastic. You do not want to miss that one. Incredible. So you got to register now. And with that said, there'll be a link in the chat box. John Mackey's our keynote speaker. That's the founder and former CEO of Whole Foods Market. I'm sure many of you have shopped there before, and we're excited to have him in. So click the link in the chat box, make sure to register, and we'll see you there. Now, for today's meal, another simple meal. Okay, we're going to make a simple fruit-based salad that's calorie dense. Okay, we're going to have bananas, we're going to have plantains, we're going to have Bosc pears, and we're going to have some super greens. Okay, that's what we got going on today. So let's go. Let's start making it. Ask your questions in the chat box. I'll try and answer as many as I can during the show, and then we'll have Q&A at the end. Okay, so this is a very simple recipe. So we're going to take our super greens. Okay, I love this product. I hope one day Organic Girl sponsors the show. But, you know, there's a million different companies that provide these things. All right. They're pre-cleaned greens in a package, right? Just like that. So I'm going to have my food scale here. You can see that 0. Okay. Bring that a little closer. Now I'm just going to take some greens and just pop it on here. All right. Just like that. Super simple. Just put them on the plate. Now, you could make this in a bowl. That might be a little bit better, but for the show today, we're just going to put them on the plate. And I like to hand pick my greens because sometimes you find a bad one. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Just put it in the compost bin and then go put the better ones in here, right? So I like to, really look at what I'm putting in when I take out of these containers and just make sure I'm happy with the situation. So that's 88 grams. Let's plug in the foam. Let's do chronometer together. Let's see here. Put this in. All right. Boom. Here we go. Let's go to this screen. Let's go to an empty day. This is going to be lunch. Add food. Type in super greens. Organic Girl Super Greens right there. I could have even scanned. It says 92 now, so we're going to do 92. 92 grams. Boom. All right. Now, back to our produce here. So this is the time of year where you can get Bosc pears. All right. So this is a great variety. And I got to tell you guys, most people eat their pears unripe. They just eat them too early and they're not as good. So let me give you, if I put my finger in here, you see how I just made that dent? See that? I didn't have to press that hard. If you go to the store and when I originally bought this, no matter how hard I pressed, I wouldn't be able to make that dent because it wasn't ripe at that point. So I think I bought these probably 7 days ago. It takes time for fruit to ripen. You got to buy a lot of fruit. So let's see here. You can see behind me, I have some fruit shelves. but there's way more. I have a whole nother fruit shelf in the other room, right? So you got to buy a lot. You got to let stuff ripen. And this is going to be a super simple salad. So we're going to tear this to 0. We're going to take the stickers off the pear, all right? And I don't know if there's a magical way to cut a pear. I just got to cut it down the center. And then I go like this. And then I go like this. And I'm just going to try and get out those seeds, right? Just go like that. And then put them into little chunks. If there's a better way to cut a pear, you guys can tell me in the comments, but this way gets the job done. I'll tell you that much. So we're just cutting out the parts we don't want to eat. I don't want to eat the seeds of the pear. All right. Boom. Okay. Just like that. And we're going to do this a few more times. Yeah, let us know in the comments. Have you tried Boss pears before? Love to know. And you guys, if you haven't registered for the summit, don't forget to register for the summit. All right. You don't want to miss it this year. Okay. Watching from North Carolina a few weeks ago, I think Robby said to eat grapes with greens. Will he explain that? Why? Yeah, you should, especially when you're transitioning, it's best to eat all your fruit with greens. Okay. Now, grapes might be even more important because of the ratio of the sugar content to the fiber in grapes is lends to the fact that it's better to just have it with greens. Okay. So that's going to apply to all fruits, but yes, grapes, where they sit on that glycemic index is something to consider in this situation, but almost all fruits. So I'm just placing the pears on top of this plate here. And, just so you know, like if you want to make these meals even faster, I literally could just take the greens, the pears, the plantains, and the bananas and just start like eating it like right then and there. You don't even have to prepare it, but I'm just obviously putting it on this plate to make it look good for you guys. But you could super fast meals, okay? Now I picked the next pear that had the most give. I picked the ripest pear. You see that juice coming out? Like if you're cutting a pear and you're not seeing some juice come out, then you've made a mistake. Like you've cut it too early. Put it that way, okay? So we're just cutting out this little center part. And just making into chunks. So I'm basically getting each little section getting cut into 3 different parts. And I got to tell you, there's so many varieties of pears. I like them all. I don't think there's a single variety of pear I haven't liked. But Bosc is widely available, super sweet. It's one of my favorites. So I hope you guys are enjoying Bosc pears. Jeannie says Bosc are her favorite. I love that. We're on the same page there. Week 3, the blood sugar challenge. Our bananas not allowed yet. So when you're following, so if you join our 6-week challenge, we created a meal plan that's going to like optimize your insulin sensitivity. And bananas come later in the plan. So if you're in the challenge, that means you can talk to your coach. So I would talk to your coach and see what do they think about bananas for you at this point, and you guys can make a decision together. All right. Let me grab my towel real quick. I'll be right back. Here it is. All right, I got it. Okay. All right. So we have 284 grams. Let's go back to chronometer. Lunch, add food, pears raw, easy. 284. Make sure it's grams. Save. Okay. Now we go back to the scale. We hit tear 0, and now we're gonna have some fun with plantains. So people don't appreciate plantains enough, and I feel like I should do an entire month or something on plantains. These are very affordable, very accessible, very calorie dense, nutrient dense. They're going to keep you satisfied. So this black stuff is great. It's soft. It has give. You see that? I hope you can see that. It's got give right there. See how I can? All right. So I'm just going to cut this top. I'm going to peel the plantain. This is a raw plantain. You could steam them, you could bake them. There's all kinds of fun things you could do with a plantain. I prefer to just eat them raw. It's very simple, okay? So there it is, just like that. Get rid of that piece, all right? And then we're just gonna cut it, all right? So just like this, boom, boom. I mean, it's so good. I cannot wait to have this meal. I'm getting so hungry. Let us know in the chat box if you ever had a raw plantain before. I want to know. All right. So we're going to put the plantains on the plate. And we're going to make this look beautiful. That's the plan. It is nice to look at your food and it looks really good. It looks appealing. That's important. Okay. So 1 plantain there, 200 grams. Let's go back to chronometer. Okay. So this meal right now is 47 grams of total carbohydrate so far. So watch this calorie density. Okay. 284 grams of pears was 43.3 grams of carbohydrate. Watch this. We're going to go here. I'm going to type in plantain. Okay. 200 grams is 63.8. It's less in volume, but look at that. More carbohydrate, more calories. It's fantastic. And also notice it has fat, right? 0.7 grams of fat in my my plantain here. Okay. So now we're up to 110 grams for this meal. We're going to go and now add in some banana. All right. Now, this banana right here, this is called the Pisang Raja. Got this from Miami Fruit, miamifruit.org. Use discount code Mastering Diabetes. You could save some money, but these are fun. Okay. We're going to put one of these in there just for fun. All right. Okay. So it has a caramel flavor. It's incredible. So super fun banana. There's over 100 varieties of bananas. So most of the time, most people have just one variety in the grocery store, but there's way more. I should clean this off. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Pisang Raja. It's king of bananas, essentially. That's what it means. And you know what? It's appropriate. It's appropriate for this banana. All right. Guys, in the chat box, who here have reduced your medications because you're following the Mastering Diabetes method? Let's call it the brag box. So if you want to brag a little bit, let us know. Love to hear that. Love to announce your results. Hello from Summerlin, California. I got a handle on my fat intake and my doctor reduced my insulin by 50%. That's fantastic. It's fantastic. I love that. It's huge. Keep it going. Keep it going. How long you been doing it? All right. Let me know. Greetings from Santa Cruz. Pears are wonderful this time of year. Comets are here. That's amazing. Comets is a great variety. Greens are a natural fit. I agree. Okay, so we added bananas. You know what? I forgot to tear it. It was 82, so I'm going to do 82. So I'll go to here. Add food. Bananas. Here we go. 82. 82 grams. Save. Okay, now these are the normal bananas you can find at the grocery store, right? Okay, these are ripe. This is the ideal state to eat your bananas. These are unripe. So if you're having indigestion, you're feeling bloated, sometimes it could be due to eating some unripe produce. You have to talk about that. And if you're in our coaching program, they can help you solve that problem, figure out what's going on. Some people have gotten to a point where they can actually digest unripe bananas, and that's a good thing. You know, their digestive system is at that stage. That could be something to celebrate. Personally, I don't eat any unripe bananas. I only eat ripe bananas. That's my choice. All right. So I also just want to note here, like, neither one of these bananas are certified organic, and that's okay. For me personally, if I don't eat the skin of the fruit, I'm much more chill about it not being organic. And please don't stress out about having to always get organic stuff. It's just not 100% necessary. So this meal is 129 grams of carbohydrate, and we really put, like, that's it. Like, that's the meal. We put this together very quickly, very efficiently, and I'm going to actually eat this. So we're going to have fun. All right, so let's see if we have some questions to answer. Are plantains good for nice cream? Yes, plantains are good for nice cream. I've done that, I think, once or twice, and it was pretty good. So I think I prefer bananas, but it's definitely an option. It's definitely an option. I'd love for you to try it and report back on a future show. Okay. All right. What else do we got? So you're taking metformin. I'm taking one metformin instead of two. That's great, Jenny. That's great. I love to see that. That's huge. Okay. You know, one thing I want to do best is let's go back. Can you pull up those speakers again for the summit? I'd love to talk about some of the speakers and some of the lectures I really want people to see. Because this event Again, it's once a year, everybody. It's a once a year event. It's free for a week. So you have to like take advantage. I highly recommend you block off time on your calendar. But yeah, let's go. There we go. So day one, Michael Clapper. What are good fats and are they actually good for you? Great conversation. Okay. You really need to understand this because this is happening over and over and over in the world of diabetes health. People are just confused. And this whole thing about good fats and bad fats, and people are unfortunately having too much of what they think are good fats. So you got to get into the science on that and hear Dr. Clapper. Neil Barnard, it's never too late. Scientific proof that type 2 diabetes is reversible. Okay? Amazing interview. Dr. Neil Barnard is a legend. He's been in the summit for all 6 years, and it just gets better and better each time. So don't miss that. John McDougall, how and why fat paralyzes insulin activity. So you've heard it from us for many years now. You got to listen to Dr. McDougall. He's got some fun stuff to share in that interview. There's actually a little bit of a fun conversation back and forth between Cyrus and Dr. McDougall in that interview, which you're also not going to want to miss. There's a little bit of a fun conversation about fruit and starch. And there's always some new surprises in these interviews. So that was one of them. So check it out. Day 2, we bring in more amazing experts. And we're talking about how inflammation is the root cause of many chronic diseases. So Nathan Crane's going to be talking about cancer. Amazing interview. Clint Pattison, he's talking about how to optimize your cell membranes. Okay? So we're getting onto the cellular level here and how reducing that inflammation is just a big, big deal. Joel Furman, he's talking about how the micronutrients. Okay? So I love that interview, and I also love how it ties into what we're talking about here today with this recipe. As you see on this show, so lots of greens over and over and over again on this Simple Meal Show. Micronutrients matter, and Joel Furman talks about the science of that in that interview. We had a lot of fun. All right, day 3, we have more amazing experts. This is gut health. These are 3 of the true leaders in the world of gut health. Dr. B, I'm sure you guys remember him. He's a legend, 2 times New York Times best-selling author, and he talks about gut health, blood sugar, and what it all means. Robin Chuckin, amazing woman. She's talking about your genes, okay? And that's huge. And then Dr. Alan Desmond, this is his first appearance in the summit. We're really glad to have him in. He's sort of blown up on Instagram and become really well known for his gut health information. And it's a great interview. You don't want to miss it. So check that out. Then we go to day 4, how to protect your heart health, liver, kidneys, and mind. All right. So Dr. Sean Hashmi, this guy's a legend. He was in the summit last year, and we're talking about sleep, movement, alcohol. There's a lot of common topics where people aren't 100% clear, and you'll be clear after this interview. Dr. Brian Asbill, how high blood sugar increases your heart disease risk. You don't want to miss this, guys. The number 1 killer for people living with all forms of diabetes is heart disease, okay? We have to understand this topic, and there are things you can do, Dr. Clemens Batiste, why becoming selfish is the key to optimal long-term health. Great interview, very important topic. Don't miss that one. He's a fun one. He has a lot of energy. I love that guy. All right, day 5, unlocking the most powerful key to longevity. Jason Prawl, okay? This guy's a fascinating speaker, and you're going to learn about chronobiology, all right? This is going to be a very important introduction to a very important topic, and how you can really understand the role of your circadian rhythm in regulating your blood sugar and your insulin levels. Very important, simple, small adjustments you can make that have a big impact. Don't miss that one. Dan Buettner, he's the creator of the Blue Zones and multiple New York Times best-selling author, an amazing guy. And he's talking about your environment, how you can change your environment to make healthy decisions easier. He covered a few important studies in this interview, and we had a lot of fun with him, so don't miss that. I love how, again, he's come back several years now, and I love how each time these experts bring in something new, And it's really fun. I mean, Cyrus and I learn a lot in these interviews, and we're excited to share them with you guys. So check it out. Luke Tan, okay, he's talking about why stress and carbon dioxide are actually your best friends in maximizing insulin sensitivity. So it's going to be an interesting one. You're going to learn a lot there. And then we move on to the next day. Day 6. Remember, guys, these are all free. You just click the link in the chat box, and you get to have all this information. You get to watch these interviews for free. It's like a streaming event. It's really fun. Okay, Chef AJ. She's been in our summit, I believe, all 6 years as well. And she's really good at talking about like food addiction and how we can sort of break the cycle. And she's done it herself. Dr. Rick Dina. Again, we had a great conversation about the science of vegetables, like the nutrition nuances. Again, why it's important to have greens, why we're having that on these recipes all the time. Understanding the science behind it is really beneficial. Jim Loomis and Karen Dugan, this is a great conversation. Culinary literacy and really understanding what you can do in the kitchen to maximize your health. We also had a great conversation about oil. A lot of confusion around that topic. You'll learn a lot in that interview. On the next day, we have more amazing experts. Ocean Robbins, he's been in the summit for many years now as well. And we actually, just like we were talking about today with the organic bananas and all that, we had a great conversation about organic food, about saving money. It's really, really helpful. So don't miss that. Rip Esselstyn, the unbelievable 7-day results of a plant-based diet. So what you can do to get results fast. You're going to learn that in that interview. And Dr. Michael Karlfeld, he's been a new expert this year. It was a great interview. A lot of nuanced stuff in there. Some, I would say a little bit of like life hacks you can do. All right. Okay. Then John Mackey, keynote speaker. This is a very inspiring interview, talking a lot about the future of health, our healthcare system. You do not want to miss this. This is a visionary right here. And you'll get a sneak peek into what's happening in the future by listening to that interview. So don't miss it, guys. This whole thing is free. All right. So let me come back here and let you guys know. Blood Sugar Revolution Summit 2022. Register now. And I want to answer a few questions, and then we'll call it a day, and I'll see you guys next week. So any warm, hearty meals for wintertime, that's absolutely coming. So next week, we have a coach joining me, and that's the type of stuff we're going to be getting from our coaches as well. So check it out same time next week. Will diabetes type 2 mostly be talked about? Also type 1. So great question. I'm living with type 1 diabetes. My co-founder Cyrus is living with type 1 diabetes. We're the authors of this New York Times bestselling book, Mastering Diabetes. And what we cover in this book, what we cover with our website, with all the content we're producing here on Facebook, on YouTube, we are connecting the dots between all forms of diabetes. And as you see when you go to the page to register, this whole event is about reversing insulin resistance, what you can do to become more insulin sensitive. And so all these topics that they're talking about that we just covered apply to both type 1 and type 2 equally. It's really important to know that. So don't miss out on this event because you think it's just about type 2 diabetes. It's not. It's about reversing insulin resistance, and that matters for type 1 just as much as it matters for type 2. It's a huge misunderstanding in the world of type 1 diabetes. All right? Okay, I thought bananas were not good for diabetics. I'm so glad you're here because we're here to teach you that actually bananas are one of the best foods you can eat with any form of diabetes, okay? So you might believe that because you've been told that, oh, wow, they're high in sugar. And if somebody has, type 2 diabetes, their blood sugar is high. Therefore, they shouldn't eat a food that's full of sugar. And that's a misunderstanding. That's a misinterpretation of what's actually happening. And you have to take a step back and understand, why is the person living with type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes having high blood sugar readings? And that step back is the fact that they're living with insulin resistance. That is the problem. So when your cells are not able to take in glucose efficiently and gracefully, when insulin's not able to open that door, the glucose gets stuck in your bloodstream. Okay, it's not the banana's fault. It's not the mango's fault. It's the fact that you have a jam. You have a jam on the cellular level. There's a traffic jam we got to clean that up, and then you can eat the bananas with your heart's content, like, as much as you want. Just enjoy the bananas. Bananas are great because they're full of water, they're full of fiber, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phytochemicals, and when consumed in a low-fat environment with greens, with non-starchy vegetables in the beginning, you actually see your blood glucose come down, your insulin requirements come down. It's absolutely fantastic. That's what we're all about here. So I'm glad you found us. You definitely have to go watch more of our information. If you really want to truly understand why bananas are great for people living with all types of diabetes, you definitely should register for the Blood Sugar Revolution Summit. Everything will be explained in detail. All right. So with that said, we're going to end the show today. Make sure to register. Next week, you're looking for warm, hearty meals. Check that out. I have 2 coaches. So I have a coach coming on a week from today, and then the following week, another coach joining. So don't miss out. We're going to have fun. Thanks for joining today. I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Have a great day.